Some affairs end quietly. This one started a war. What begins as a reckless weekend fling for a married man quickly spirals into one of the most terrifying emotional breakdowns ever put on screen. A moment of weakness turns into obsession, manipulation, stalking, and eventually a fight for survival. This is Fatal Attraction. Let's get into it. Dan Gallagher lives what many would call the perfect life. A stable career as an attorney, a lovely wife named Beth, and a young daughter. But while his family visits relatives for the weekend, Dan meets Alex Forrest, a confident, mysterious editor he's been working with professionally. They were introduced earlier at a work party, with the initial interaction, although harmless on the surface, had a subtle tinge of flirtation. And so subsequently, they engage in polite conversation and subtle curiosity, the kind of chemistry adults convince themselves doesn't mean anything, until it does. Their chemistry is undeniable and dangerous.
And you're here with a strange girl, being a naughty boy.
What should have been harmless flirting escalates into a passionate affair across a single intense weekend. Alex plays house with Dan all weekend. Any stranger seeing them would think they were a happy family. Alex, it seems, is particularly basking in this experience as it's something she herself doesn't have, a home. But when Dan tries to end it, Alex immediately reveals a darker, more unstable side. She refuses to let go, insisting their connection means more. When he pulls away, she deliberately injures herself, forcing Dan to comfort her before fleeing her apartment, shaken and guilty. He tells himself it's over. Alex believes the opposite. Dan tries to return to normal life, pretending the affair never happened. But Alex keeps inserting herself back into his world. She shows up at his office to apologize and suggests they spend time together.
I've got 2 tickets to Madame Butterfly.
She calls repeatedly, refusing to accept no. When he blocks her calls, she finds new ways to reach him. Then she drops the bombshell. She claims she's pregnant and keeping the baby. Dan panics. He wants nothing to do with her, but Alex insists he must take responsibility. Things only get worse. She discovers where he lives and, under the pretense of buying their soon-to-be-sold apartment, meets Beth face to face. The tension, though polite, is chilling. Dan realizes Alex has crossed a line he cannot ignore. Later, when he confronts her, she makes it clear she has no intention of letting him go.
I'm gonna be the mother of your child because I won't allow you to treat me like some slut you can just bang a couple of times and throw in the garbage.
Things escalate when she threatens to tell his wife. Hoping distance will help, Dan moves his family out of Manhattan to a quiet suburb. But Alex escalates instead of retreating. She sends a venomous tape filled with rage.
Because part of you is growing inside of me, and that's a fact, Dan.
She vandalizes his car. She follows him home. Watching his happy family through a window makes her physically sick, a twisted mix of jealousy and grief. Dan approaches the police, pretending he's seeking help for a client, but the officer tells him there's no case unless Alex actually commits a crime. That moment is coming. One night, the Gallaghers return home to a horrifying sight. Ellen's pet rabbit has been boiled on their stove. The message is unmistakable. Dan finally admits everything to Beth: the affair, the pregnancy, the stalking. Beth is devastated and orders him out of the house. As Dan tries to reason with Alex over the phone, Beth jumps on the line and warned Alex directly, "If you come near my family again, I will kill you." It doesn't stop her. Alex takes things from dangerous to unthinkable. She picks up Ellen from school and takes her to an amusement park, acting cheerful and maternal as if nothing is wrong. When Beth realizes her daughter is missing, she frantically searches, eventually crashing her car in panic and being hospitalized. Alex quietly drops Ellen back home, unharmed, but the psychological damage is done. Consumed by anger and fear, Dan goes to Alex's apartment and violently attacks her. He stops himself before going too far, but Alex grabs a kitchen knife and lunges, forcing him to flee. Still, the police say they have no grounds to arrest her, a reminder of how powerless Dan has become in the nightmare he created. Beth eventually forgives Dan after her hospital stay, and they try to move forward. But Alex is not done. While Beth prepares a bath, Alex sneaks into the house with the same kitchen knife she used earlier. Her resentment boils over. In her mind, Dan chose Beth, the perfect family, the life she believes she could have had. She slashes at Beth, initiating a brutal struggle in the bathroom. Dan hears the screams and races upstairs. He overpowers Alex and forces her underwater, seemingly drowning her. But she erupts from the tub one last time, knife in hand. Before she can strike, Beth fires a single bullet into her chest, ending the nightmare. Outside, flashing police lights fill the yard as Dan finishes giving his statement. He returns inside to Beth, and despite everything, the two embrace, shaken but together. The credits roll over a photo of the Gallagher family, a haunting reminder of how close they came to losing everything. And that was Fatal Attraction, a chilling reminder that one reckless decision can unravel an entire life. What did you think of Dan's choices? Could this disaster have been avoided, or was it inevitable from the moment he opened the door to temptation? Let me know your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.